This is the Lenovo Idea Tab Pro, a surprisingly high quality little tablet for the price. This tablet wasn't on my radar, but you guys kept asking about it in the comments. See? I listen if you ask enough. Oh, no, guys, don't ask for that. This tablet doesn't come with a glove. I can't dance. All right, just this once. I get why this Android tablet has captured so many people's attention. It starts up front with this really nice looking 144Hz IPS LCD display. From the start, when you first boot this thing up, the colors on it just jump out at you. It looks fantastic. Even though this is not an OLED display, it still looks great. This is also a 12.7-inch tablet, so it's more of a larger iPad Pro type size, although this one is more rectangular with a 16:10 aspect ratio and a resolution of 2944 by 1840. Ooh, more requests. Okay, everybody wants to know how this stacks up against the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 FE. Okay, I guess since everyone's asking for it, I'll talk about that too. The FE is Samsung's mid-tier tablet, and it comes in two sizes, a normal 11-inch and then a larger plus version that's 13.1 inches. So that one is a little bit bigger than this 12.7-inch Lenovo. And that's why I think there are so many comparisons between these two tablets. You just don't see this larger size with Android tablets that often. But spec for spec, this Lenovo pulls ahead. The MediaTek Dimensity 8300 processor under the hood benchmarks better than the Galaxy Tab FE's processor. The screen refresh rate is 144 Hz. On the Galaxy Tab FE, it's only 90 Hz. Only. 90 Hz is still nice, but this goes higher. Looking at these screens next to each other, it looks to me like the Galaxy Tab does get a touch brighter, but if you're using this inside, the Lenovo still gets plenty bright. And this is where it gets exciting. Price. I bought mine directly from Lenovo's website for $300. Its retail price is $400. So this is the same size as the FE Plus, and the FE Plus costs $750 right now. It probably will go on sale at some point in the future. Samsung's tablets always do. But I would be shocked if you ever find the Galaxy Tab under $400, at least a larger plus size. So considering I only paid $300 for this, I could buy 2.5 Lenovo's for that price. That is wild. Yes, when I started drawing this, I just wanted to draw a bird, but somewhere along the line, it clearly turned into an angry bird. I like how it turned out though. I'm not mad. Bird is though. Now specs don't tell the whole story. You know what does? What? No! What is wrong with you people? There are a lot of tablets out there that look amazing on paper, but once you get them in your hands, you're just like, meh. But this one really holds up. Little details like how the screen looks, like I mentioned before. Then there's things like the speakers. They sound really good. That's something that a lot of Android tablets just don't do well. Even the cameras on this thing are halfway decent. Look, the tablet cameras aren't going to light the world on fire, right? But at the same time, the front-facing camera, the rear-facing camera, these are not potato cams like a lot of other tablets. And it's in those details where I think Lenovo really excels. No, you guys, I did that already. Derek, are you screening these comments? While Brad and Derek argue over who is responsible for filtering the comments, I would like to remind you that Brad ranks all the tablets he tests over on his website, bradsartschool.com, where you can sort by Android tablets, Windows tablets, and even check out Brad's courses, although make sure you grab the discount link down below in the description before heading over there. And those comments were obscene, Derek. Obscene! No! Hey, we're back. Okay, so far this tablet has really impressed the heck out of me. Good specs at a good price. That's what I'm always looking for. The pen is where it falters. This is a USI stylus, and that's kind of the default Android stylus that everybody uses. USI is the standard. I get it. So it's just really easy for any manufacturer to pick it up and include it here with the tab. And that's exactly why so many people do. But I wish that they came up with a different standard, because I'm not a big fan of USI styluses. There's better stuff out there. If you're doing handwriting, if you're doing note-taking, it's totally fine. Totally gets the job done. But I'm here for the art. I want to draw on this thing, I want to sketch on this thing, and doing detailed line work, that's where it kind of stumbles a little bit. These pens just aren't as good as the Wacom-powered S Pens that you're going to find on the Samsung Galaxy line of tablets. Now, the good news is that, yes, This is a pack-in stylus, so this does not cost more. Some Android tablets, in fact most Android tablets, have this as like an extra feature. You have to pay another $50 or $80 on top of the price of the tablet for the same exact pen. Now, this is a battery-powered pen. It has a USB port near the back, specifically for charging. And when you flip your tablet over, there's a spot along the back where you can store this pen magnetically, although it does not charge there. You still need the cord for that. It's also worth noting there's some magnets along the bottom of the tab. The pen will stick to that too, but it won't stick along the sides or along the top. It's true, the pen, not my favorite. I should probably explain why I don't care for the pen, and it really comes down to the amount of wave there is to some of the lines when you're drawing, especially like slow angled lines. If you're trying to get really precise line work, oftentimes you're gonna get like bumps along curves and things like that. The pen is doing things you don't want it to do while you're trying to get really precise lines. And this is standard for all USI styluses. I was not surprised at all when I started drawing with this. There's also some little things about this pen that other pens have improved on. For example, it just feels less responsive. It feels a little more laggy. The initial activation rate in some apps just isn't there. You have to draw for a second before it picks up. Just like tiny little things that if you're used to drawing with a Wacom pen or an Apple Pencil, you're really going to notice when you jump over to one of these pens. If you've never drawn digitally before, it might not bother you and you might not care quite as much. Now, if you do want to get rid of the wave on this pen, there are ways to do that. Most apps have stroke straighteners, or sometimes they're called stroke stabilizers. That's what it's called in the app I'm using here. This is High Paint. But when you turn that on in most apps, it adds a boatload of lag to the stroke, even though it makes them look much, much nicer. That makes it much harder to connect a line. So say you're drawing a circle, there's a lot of lag there. When you get to the other end of the circle and you're trying to close it, you may miss it, or you'll try to overcompensate and keep drawing, and then you'll overshoot it, or it's just hard to line things up. Same thing happens if you go back to touch up a line, just add a little bit to it. Adding a little bit of lag to that pen really makes that a lot harder. I also got a fair amount of palm dots on my canvas as I was drawing with this. Basically, my palm leaving marks on the canvas instead of just the pen. Now, like I said before, I'm drawing in High Paint. And one of the reasons I like High Paint is, one, it's just a Procreate clone, and I'm just used to Procreate, so it's very familiar for me to jump over from an iPad. But I also like a lot of the settings they have in here. They have several palm rejection settings, so you can kind of toggle those on. Those help a ton. I go in there and I turn everything on that has to do with palm rejection. Other apps have options like that too. iBiz Paint X is one. I think Clip Studio Paint also has that option in there. Not quite as granular as they have here in High Paint, but it does work and it works well. This is the big question here. If you want a bigger Android tablet for note-taking, maybe some sketching, it's really hard to beat this price. I don't think of Lenovo as a value brand, so I was really impressed. I thought they were gonna cut a lot more corners here, but they're not. But if drawing, line art, if finished art is your main goal, I think that Samsung S Pen just gives you a compromise-free experience. I would rather go with the Galaxy Tab FE, even if I'm going back to like last year's version to get it cheaper, get it closer to this price point, and get that S Pen, than draw with the USI stylus. Another minus that's probably worth mentioning in this video is support. Samsung has really upped their support game in recent years. They offer 7 years of software updates on their tablets. That's wild. That's a lot. Apple's gonna be up there too. Here, they're offering 2 years of OS support. You can, of course, still continue using the tablet for years after that, but you're not going to be getting bug fixes. You're not going to get security fixes. Anything new that comes to Android, you're not going to get it. And that can be a deal breaker for a lot of people. What's your take on this Lenovo tablet? I was really impressed. It really comes down to the value per dollar that you're spending. It's there. If they had licensed Wacom's Pentech, man, boom, we'd have something really special here. If you want to see some of my other reviews, I'll link some of these up here. Thank you for watching the video. I'll talk to you all in a couple of days.